Hi everybody,
How are you? I am Bella.
I'm Jane.
We're two friends. We just catch up for a weekly chat, and we like to talk about stuff that's going on this crazy planet of ours. And little disclaimer here: if you haven't watched us before, we're not experts, we're not scientists. Please, anything that we say, we trust that you will discern for yourself and trust your own intuition and higher self if it resonates or if it's true for you. Take it or leave it, but we like to just talk about current events, and today is a very exciting day.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday to Jane. Happy birthday to Jane. Happy birthday, dear Janey. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
55 today.
55 today, and we feel like it's a really important day because Jane has, at 55 years old, set the intention that this birthday is a portal into fifth dimensional consciousness and a new reality. So she has set the intention that she is going to leave all the old behind of this birthday, all the old that no longer serves her. And I think that's really exciting.
It is exciting. We just had a little ceremony before where we burned up some stuff that we were working on a few years ago that never quite gained traction. So we thought, well, let's burn it up and let the energy of it go so that it can reconfigure in a way. And when it's meant to come back, if it's meant to come back, it'll come back fresh and new.
Yeah, so what I did is I made Jane a little birthday gift, and a few years ago when we were working on this project that never came to be, we did a lot of brainstorming and whatever. So I actually wrapped her gift up in this old paper that we had brainstormed on and suggested that we burn this paper once she opened her gift as a representation of what she was leaving behind, and that business entity that we had created was in the third dimensional reality, and the lessons that we had received from that business partnership had been received. So let's let that energy go and move on. So I think it's really important for us, for you, for anyone as a humanity, to bring back ceremony into your life. And bringing back ceremony into your life will give yourself greater direction and greater clarity in your life. And ceremony doesn't have to be this big fandangled thing. We just grabbed a fire pit, we set the intention of what we wanted to let go, and we burnt the paper. That was a ceremony. What else do you have in your life that is ceremonial?
Look, even having a shower can be ceremonial if we sort of view it in the right way. And certainly going surfing is ceremonial in a way, as far as setting an intention. Sometimes I set the intention before I go into the shower, or I realize that when I'm in the shower that I can wash away all the stuff that I've been hanging on to that's no longer serving me. So, I mean, water is the purest form of, the purest cleanser on the planet. It's the most, it's our, we are 70% water, so it's the most divine gift for us to use as a cleansing tool, along with fire, water and fire. So yeah, set an intention when you go into the shower. Today I rinse all of the stuff that no longer serves me, or the crap that's happened today. I just let it all flow down into the sink. I mean, that can be ceremonial.
Wiping your ass could be ceremonial. I gave Jane particularly some Who Gives a Crap dunny paper as part of her present. So I said, every time you wipe your ass, you are wiping away all the old that no longer serves you. Figuratively, you are dumping all the old stuff. And, sorry fellas, this is for the women. However, if you're a bloke and you have a woman, and this does affect you too, if you are a woman that still menstruates every single month, hallelujah, you have an absolutely potent window every single month to shed what no longer serves. With the intention setting and the release of your blood, you can release all of the things that have passed in the month that no longer serve you. Every time you go to the bathroom, you can say, may this blood be releasing whatever. And if you're a bloke who has a partner that's menstruating, this affects you too, because she can release your shit as well. What do you think about that?
I think that's good. It kind of leads us into what we were thinking about talking today, which is birthing a new reality, birthing a new way. So entering through a portal from the past into the future and creating an intention of a portal so that we get to move in. And that's not an easy process. So birthing is not an easy process. There's going to be contraction, there's going to be blood, there's going to be shit, there's going to be pain, and every woman will tell you that every birthing experience is different, and this is no different. And
did you see that?
Yeah,
that was so weird. Some like weird little thing just flew in front of our camera.
We like flying creatures.
Yes.
But you know, as we're giving birth and as we're entering into this new paradigm, stuff from this part, it drags us back in. Lately, there's been a lot of, all right, that's it, I'm just going to focus on the good thing coming, the golden world coming. But you know what happens? You get these things come up and you get these legislations passed that say that women who have been sexually abused in the past, raped, no longer have the right to speak about that. Like, what kind of monster would put a gag on women or men that were boys? Any victim of sexual abuse is no longer allowed to speak about that in public using their own name, and they're certainly unallowed to name the perpetrators. And we think, well, if this is coming from the government, what the fuck do the government, who are these politicians, you know, the ones that are under the suppression orders that Bill Heffernan and Franca Arena tried so hard to lift, and Karen Brewer to this day still is trying to get these suppression orders lifted. It's these fuckers that don't want people to speak their name into the matrix, because they're afraid. Well, they're afraid. They don't want to be exposed. So let's put a gag order on all the women and all the men in the past that have been sexually abused. You know, fuck that. That's what takes me back into this old paradigm, when I want to focus here, but we've still got some contraction to get through, so we are in this process.
And let's clarify that for a bit. If you don't know what Jane's talking about, maybe you don't follow the mainstream media, I think it was in February, the Victorian government passed new legislation that victims of sexual assault crime cannot speak out about. In actual fact, they can be jailed for speaking out about this. And I want to urge any citizen of Australia, and especially, the citizens of Victoria, does this not make you question the motives of your government when they will put a gag order on rape victims while protecting the perpetrator? Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I have one of my daughters who's doing a project as well. This is another part of these things that drag us back here, and she's been very upset because she had to do an interview with an older lady who's in a nursing home. Her project is to, how can we design nursing homes that are better for people? And so as part of that, she had to interview. So she spoke to this lady, it was via Skype. And this lady said, look, I can't talk much, I'm in pain, I haven't seen my family, I'm so sad, I haven't even been allowed outside into the air for 6 months. And my daughter got off the interview and absolutely broke down in tears, and it broke her heart because she hadn't been that close. And it's all right, one thing to hear it, and it's another thing to feel it. And she really felt that horror and that pain. And I said to her, this is an extraordinary time to be alive. We have the most vulnerable, which is the children here, which have been persecuted, raped, all that stuff. And we have the old people here, the two most vulnerable sections of our community that are being absolutely, look, I can't use another word, this is tortured to death. I'm sorry. For me, one of the most heartbreaking things is how we're treating our old people and we should be revering these people. They went to war for us. They raised us up, and we treat them like shit. We don't even let them out into the goddamn sunshine. What the fuck is going on? You know, we've got some contracting to do. We need to stand up. I think Australia, for me the other day, I had a realization that Australia seems to be like, who are we? We seem to be in an identity crisis. Do we stay sitting down and not say anything? Do we stand up and risk a fine or risk persecution? You know, what do we do? Are we so afraid that we can't speak up? Fuck it. Speak up. It's time. It's too much.
I mean, when the elderly are at the end of their life, when they are in a nursing home, there is no greater crime to humanity than the segregation and separation and isolation of those elderly. It just breaks my heart. There is not a virus or bacteria or illness on earth that should bring about the forced isolation and separation of the elderly from their friends, family, and wider community. This is a fucking crime. And I don't know what we do about this collectively, but it's time for us to rise up together as a collective to really, I don't know, if you've got any ideas, write them in the comments below, because, you know, we're doing what we can to serve this collective awakening and this uproar of humanity, but I'm sure there's more that we could be doing, and there's more that we could be doing as, you know, a group.
Oh, look, and there are so many people that want to do something. They've got parents or grandparents in nursing homes and they can't go and see them, and they don't know what to do. So I think we need to come up with some strategies. We need to do something to end this, and you know, we all need to do what we can.
And you know, like what we're saying is that's what pulls Jane back into the third dimensional reality. When she wants to think, oh, there's this golden utopia and we're moving into 5D, it's that pulls her back. What pulls me back is the absolute suppression that's happening to women who are currently pregnant or giving birth. I recently birthed my first son, and the suppression of birthing women infuriates me, and I have this fire and this wild woman that rises up. Like, if anyone told me I had to wear a mask while giving birth, I would say, fuck you, find me. But unfortunately, you know, there's a majority of women that weren't born with that kind of fire, weren't born with that kind of, like, I'm a rebel. I've always been a rebel. I hate authority. I hate rules. So I got that fire to stand up and say, no fucking way you're telling me what to do. But there's so many women on the planet that they're just giving their power away to these doctors and these nurses and these hospitals who are telling them that they must do something. The intervention or the medicalization of birth is one of the biggest crimes against humanity. That's what pulls me back into 3D every time. It pulls me back, it pulls me back. So, you know, if there's something that pulls you back, what we're saying is you're only human. And part of this living this, you know, reality is that we are humans in physical bodies, and we are having this co-created existence. So it's okay to get pulled back into the chaos of, you know, what we currently see unfolding.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when you go into birth, if you don't know what the sex of the child is, it's nice to have a surprise. But once we birth the new Australia, what's that going to look like? Who are we going to be as that babe that is being born? Who are we, Australia? Who are we, the world, as the fresh new babe that we're bringing into the world? What does that baby represent? What qualities, what values, what do you think? You know, what do you think? What would you like to see as a new part of this new unfolding, of this new babe that we're birthing?
I would like to see no segregation or no isolation of the elderly. That's for certain. I would like to see women in birth be in their power and, you know, be asked, how may I serve you? How may I serve you to bring this magnificent, all-encompassing being? Not to tell a woman, you're not capable of that, your body can't stretch that far, your baby's too big, you need to have a cesarean, you need to wear a mask, you can't have your partner in the room. Like, we need to support each other collectively. Like, how can I bring forth the best version of you? How may I help you?
It's, you know, one of the greatest questions of all time is, how can I be of service? And we are entering into that age. we need to let go of it's all about me and it's all about selfish. You know, we need to become expansive and inclusive, and absolutely that we have the two most vulnerable, the babies and the elderly and all in between. But these are vulnerable. They can't help themselves, and these ones can't help themselves a lot either. So we need to step up and we need to ask, how can I serve these people?
And I think that one of the ways that we can serve is through setting intentions. So, you know, for example, you make everything in your life, or whenever you remember, a ceremony. So I'm drinking this cup of tea, and for every drink of my tea, may all the women giving birth around the planet be liberated. And that creates a ripple effect. You know, I might be eating my lunch. Oh, for every bite of my food, may world hunger be eradicated. We can send blessings out. So as we heal ourselves, we heal the planet. It sounds really simple, but I think if every single person on the planet was doing this, could you imagine how the vibration of the planet would catapult in, you know, a very short amount of time?
And this is a pretty way out there kind of concept for a lot of people, because it's not something that people have considered before. That we spoke about this last week. That our energetic intention is not only is it out there in front of us, before us, but it's so powerful. And so, like you say, if we all get together and set an intention for the future, then this will bring it a lot quicker, a lot faster, and a lot less.
And just to explain that briefly, where we're going in terms of third dimensional reality and fifth dimensional reality, because, you know, as the consciousness of the collective evolves, we are moving into fifth dimensional reality. So let's just break down 3D for a moment. 3D reality is, you know, linear time, past, present, future, happening in a linear time. It's very binary, it's light and it's dark, it's time based. Okay, so, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just third dimensional reality, but it has its limitations. Whereas we move into fifth dimensional reality and everything's happening simultaneously all at once. And look, I know that's hard to get your head around, but imagine you've got past, present, future, and time just kind of shifts a little bit, and you have access to infinite possibilities at any given time. And your thoughts that you think project which timeline or which reality you are going to line up with, both individually and collectively as a whole. So if we are that powerful, if we are so powerful to consciously co-create a reality, I know where I want to be lined up with, and that's with, I want to be lined up where there's, you know, free energy for all. I want to be lined up with where there's, you know, the elderly are all together and united. What is it that you want to line up with?
I want to line up, and it goes into the free energy thing. I want to line up with that, the flow. So we're moving from as you say, from a linear point of view. So if we look at it from an electrical sort of standpoint, so the electricity that we use now it has an end. It has an end point. So it flows, has an end point, flows, has an end point, flows, has an end point. Whereas the energy that we'll be moving into it's not, rather than electric, it's magnetic. So it's this eternal, it's the scalar wave. So it's the infinity, the 8, which it never ends. So it's eternal, it's all inclusive, and it's expansive. So, you know, we sort of talk about Nikola Tesla and how he hooked into this scalar wave, which is, this is going to supply us with that 0 point energy in the future. But you know, it's expansive, and it's not, you can't stop it. It just keeps going. It propels itself. So if we can move into a belief, a way of being that through one thing leading to another, we could propel ourselves forward without even having to put much sort of effort in. So we set the intention and then we trust it.
I'll give you a really good example of that in 5D reality. So let's say, for example, you set the intention that I want to have more abundance in my life and I want to be rich. Okay, let's say you set that intention, right? That's a great intention. But let's say you set that intention is, I want more abundance in my life, I want to be rich, and I'm going to win the lottery. Okay, so what you are actually doing is you're setting an intention that has infinite possibilities. So you could be rich and grow abundance in any millions of numbers of ways. However, when you then break it down and say, I want to be rich, I want to be abundant, I'm going to win the lottery, you are eliminating all those other possible infinite possibilities, and you're just focusing on one possibility. So what we're saying is set the intention for what you want and let go of the outcome of how it's going to arrive to you. Does that make sense?
There's an old saying, let go and let God. So, and Abraham Hicks talks a lot about, if you're feeling overwhelmed, write all the things down that you think you can do, and the rest that are too big or that they involve too many things, put them on the other side and say, I'm going to let the universe take care of all of this. So I'm going to do these 3 things because I know I can get them done today, this week, this month, this year. The rest, I'm going to let the universe take care of those. And know that the universe will take care of those. It's true.
I mean, it's so exciting where we are going as a humanity. And, we're about to go get our little party shoes on for the birthday girl here. But I just want to summarize, what we've talked about today to leave you with a few little tidbits. So, let's make our life a ceremony. It could be as simple from setting intentions in the shower to having a tea party to having a burn off, a little fire for all that no longer serves you. So making life ceremonial in the everyday moments of life. Also, it's okay that every now and then you're going to get pulled back into 3D. You're human. That's part of being a human experience, to be triggered by things and triggered by events. There's nothing wrong with that. And then set your intention of where you want to go, letting go of the outcome, and just see what life has in store for you.
And trusting. Just trust. Trust.
Trust.
Trust.
And join us through the portal of 5D living on this birthday girl's day.
Thank you, darling
Thank you
hearts.
for listening. Bye bye.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to Janey. Happy birthday to you.
It's a new day for all of us.
Woo!